Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tep. I'm glad you made it. I found a new co-sponsor for a piece of legislation, and I wanted to read to you the statement because it is, on the newer side. What happens is the piece of legislation gets introduced, then you start to get co-sponsors and a little bit more of momentum behind it. And here we have Idaho's Congressman Mike Simpson serving in Idaho's 2nd District. And he is co-sponsoring a bill to help veterans. So I wanted to share that with you. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. The 2 asks, hit that thumbs up and let the video run. That's what puts this into the hands of those that need it. If you want to support the channel in other ways, please consider being a member. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all those members. And hey, look, it helps me to find you quicker in the comments when you do have that membership. So let's move on here. The headline: Representative Simpson co-sponsors bill to help veterans attain home ownership. All right, so this again is a co-sponsorship of a bill, and the bill is H.R. 4335. And with any piece of legislation or anything at the federal level that needs some sort of push, I encourage you that if you agree with it or if you disagree, whatever, either way, speak up and let your congressional representative know. This does 2 things. 1, the more of us on one side or the other will help to get something to happen. And 2, at the end result is that, look, your congressional member knows that we're paying attention. And that's important. When we all agree on something, guess what? That's a lot of us talking. So we've been quiet for too long. So let's change that today. Let's make 2024 a little more... have a little more vibrato. All right, so let's jump in. Today, Idaho Congressman Mike Simpson co-sponsored H.R. 4335, VA Loan-Informed Disclosure, the VALID Act of 2023. This press release just came out in December of 2023, so not that long ago considering we're at the beginning of January. This legislation will ensure that veterans, service members, and their families are made aware of all financing options available to them before purchasing a home. The VALID Act requires that the Federal Housing Administration mortgage notice contain comparative rate and fee information for loans available to them under the Department of Veterans Affairs Home Loan Program. This will equip our nation's veterans with the best possible information for their individual needs. Now, because this is talking about home loan stuff, I'm just going to throw out there to you, if you're not aware, if you have a service-connected disability, the VA funding fee is waived. So you're going to have and that is by far the largest fee that you're going to have on your VA home loan, which, by the way, does not have mortgage insurance. And oh, by the way, you can get 100%. There's no loan limit per se. It's more based on your individual buying power, your debt-to-income ratio, all your debts by your income, right? Gross income. Now, there is a funny little workaround when it comes to waiving that fee, that VA funding fee. The workaround is, let's say that you want to buy a house, but you don't have a service connection yet. File an intent to file preserves your effective date. Go buy a house, move into your house, close on your loan. Granted, you're paying your VA funding fee at that moment, but then when the VA wraps up your claim and deems you service connected and back pays you back to that earlier effective date due to your intent to file, that intent to file date preserved a date prior to the purchase of your home. Now you should be able to ask for a refund of your VA funding fee because your service connection is actually predating the purchase date. Funny workaround. But you can reach out to the VA directly and get clarification on that and ask them for sure for yourself to make sure that nothing's changed, but that's the way it used to be. And I'm 99% sure it's still that way. Just giving myself that little bit of wiggle room just in case. All right, so moving on. Every year, many VA home loans go unused, and countless veterans miss out on the opportunity of becoming a home owner, said Rep. Simpson. The VALID Act will correct this unfortunate reality by providing veterans an opportunity to learn about available resources and increasing awareness of the VA home loan financing options. Our country owes an immeasurable debt of gratitude to American veterans. Through our gratitude, we must ensure veterans are supported and made aware of the services available to them. I am proud to co-sponsor this important piece of legislation. The VALID Act would provide potential homeowners a side-by-side comparison between VA home loan options, conventional home loans, and loans offered through the Federal Housing Administration. This bill will ensure that veterans have access to comprehensive information when considering their home financing options. This bipartisan legislation currently has over 89 co-sponsors. The full list of co-sponsors and bill text can be found here, and there's a little click thing. But whatever, what are those called? Hyperlink, little hyperlink there to give you all that information. But in any case, the big point here is that what you don't want to happen is to go in and be told that one thing is the best for you and not really see it all in front of your face, and potentially get taken. It's happened before, leading up to the 2007-2008 real estate debacle. But this is, I think, honestly, I think that in the years past, and this is, I don't know, I don't remember exactly when it changed, 4 years ago or something. In the years past, there was a cap on the amount you could receive for 100% VA financing. And that put a lot of buyers into a funky situation when it came to trying to utilize their VA home loan if they lived in high cost areas that just didn't reach high enough. But the VA has removed that barrier of loan limit, and now it's just basically based on your how much you can afford. Again, based on your debt to income ratio. So as long as you can afford what you're trying to buy financially on a monthly basis based on your past 2 years of income and so forth, you should be pretty good to go. I would say you want to ideally be below probably a 45% debt to income ratio would probably be helpful. Obviously, the lower the better. But again, you could get into a house with very little money out of pocket. You could potentially, depending on the market, have the seller pick up your closing costs, which then means that you're coming into a house with really no money, hardly at all, out of your pocket, if any. Maybe just your earnest money up front, a few $1,000s or what have you. And, where else can you, I guess in my mind, when it comes to real estate, just to give kind of my little 2 cents on real estate, I think that real estate is good. I think that it is an asset. And when I look at it through the lens of an asset, I think about, okay, well, where else can I leverage an asset worth, we'll just use $1 million. You buy $1 million house. Where else can you leverage $1 million worth of asset? You can't borrow $1 million from somebody and say, I want to earn money on that $1 million somewhere. So this is a way you could purchase a house. That house is going to go up in value over time. Obviously, it goes up and down, but the overall trend is upward. So the longer you plan on keeping it, the more likely it's going to go up in value. Some areas move quicker than others. After the COVID situation, it's kind of changed the real estate landscape. Some areas that used to be very kind of steady value started to see spikes because people were moving to these lower cost areas that were nice, but maybe they didn't have the types of employment needed. So there's some of that stuff going on. But, the thing is that you're going to end up paying to live wherever you live, whether you're renting or buying or leasing or whatever. But when you own, you're able to have some sort of tax write-off, and the value of the property tends to go up over time. And the longer you keep the home, the more you're paying it down. So there's a lot of wins in it. I'm pro home ownership. I know that some people out there in the finance world talk about, not buying. Or then you get people like Dave Ramsey that are, talking about basically just paying it off as fast as you can, which I'm also a huge fan of. Get rid of it. No debt is a good thing. So in any case, I kind of rambled, but I hope that you got something out of this as far as the VA funding fee was concerned. And again, supporting this piece of legislation is also, I think, a good thing. And again, the bill is H.R. 4335, and it is the VA Loan Informed Disclosure Act, which is valid, VA-LID Act of 2023. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.